Hello to all my terrific third graders. I am so very excited to be coming back at you with another flipped video. Today we are going to be talking specifically about lines and angles. So our first part of our video is going to talk specifically about the three different kinds of angles that can be found in different shapes. And then also the kinds of lines that we're going to be seeing. If you guys remember, we've talked a lot about attributes and what they are in shapes. And an important attribute or characteristic of a shape is going to be the angles and the lines. So let's go ahead and just jump right in and start talking about angles. An important piece about an angle is that you need to know an angle is where two lines are going to meet. So that can be in any shape, in any, really in anything that you see. So you're going to notice that all of these shapes that I just drew for you all have angles. And the angle is going to be where those 2 points meet. So in our shapes that we're going to be talking about, we're going to be learning about in our geometry unit, you're going to hear me talk about three different specific kinds of angles. The first angle I'm going to talk about is going to be a right angle. What you need to know about a right angle is that it's a perfect square. So what that means is when the two lines meet, they meet at a perfect square. So it's almost like you can draw a tiny little box in the corner. So here's another example of a right angle, and this one you're going to see my box is there again. And whenever we see a right angle, we always have that box in there. And you're going to see the 90 degrees is what you're seeing there. And what you need to know about a right angle is that it's always going to be 90 degrees. So no matter what direction that's in, it's always going to be a perfect square or 90-degree angle. So think about a shape that you would find a right angle in. If you said that you could find a right angle in a square, you're right, good job. Or a rectangle also has right angles. So you're going to notice the right angles are right here in the corners, and a square has 4. Yep, you got it. So does a rectangle. A rectangle is going to have 4 too. So a really great way that I like to use, it's kind of a funny way to remember, but when I think about right angles, I take my thumb and my finger and I make the loser symbol. Okay, go ahead and do it with me. Put it on your head. Now you can call me a loser. Go ahead. Loser. So the symbol with my hand just helps me remember that a right angle is going to make a perfect square. While my finger and my thumb aren't perfect, it gives me a good visual representation for what a right angle is going to be. Okay, so remember, loser, right angle. Go ahead and say that. Loser, right angle. The next angle I want to talk about is called an acute angle. Acute is really cute because it's really tiny. So what you need to know about a acute angle is it's going to be smaller than 90 degrees. So here I have my 90-degree angle, and my acute angle is going to sit inside of that. So it can really be anywhere inside of a right angle. So what you need to know about an acute angle is it's less than 90 degrees, or it's smaller than a right angle. So hopefully when you think about an acute angle, if you were thinking about a shape that had that as an attribute, you might say a triangle. Certain triangles have acute angles. In this situation, the acute angle is going to be down here at the bottom. So this angle is acute. So just remember, when you have an acute angle, it's going to be smaller than a right or less than 90 degrees. So a way that I remember acute angles is I take my my 2 fingers and I make a peace sign. Because we know that an acute angle is super cute and it's smaller than a right. So that acute angle is going to be my peace sign. So we can say peace out. Okay, so just remember, peace out or acute angle is going to be super small. It's going to be less than 90 degrees. Okay, the final angle I want to talk to you guys about today is an obtuse angle, and you're probably going to hear me call it obtuse, because it's really, really big. So when you think about an obtuse angle, you're going to think bigger than a right. So let's go back to our right angle. Remember? And an obtuse angle is super big. So it's going to be anything that's larger than 90 degrees. So you're going to think bigger than a right or greater than 90 degrees. So here's just another quick example that shows you an obtuse angle is going to be bigger than 90 degrees. So if you were going to think about shapes that might have an obtuse angle, you probably are going to say a triangle again, which is totally true. Triangles also have obtuse angles. So you can see something like, sorry, my drawing's not great. This angle here would be obtuse. Or in pentagons, you will typically see obtuse angles in pentagons. So you'll find one right here and right here. The other thing I want you to remember now, if you think back, we did our loser for our right, our peace out or our acute angle for acute. Now with obtuse, you're going to take your pinky finger and stick it out. You're going to take your thumb and you're going to stick it out, and you're going to hang 10. So when you're hanging 10, you're going to see your obtuse angle there because it's going to be bigger than your loser, your L7 loser, you know. You're going to be bigger than that, and you're going to be obtuse. Go ahead and say hang 10. Good job. Now that we've learned the ins and outs of angles, I want you to kind of switch your thinking for a second, and let's talk about lines. There are 3 kinds of lines that we're going to see in our shapes and their attributes. The first are going to be parallel, and this is probably going to be the most common for us. Parallel lines you're going to see right here are going to be 2 lines that are never, ever, 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 ever going to touch, no matter what. So you'll see these lines are never going to touch each other. So what you need to know about parallel lines, they don't ever touch each other. A way that I remember it is I look at my word parallel here, and these 2 lines go on, the 2 L's, and they don't touch. So that's a good way to help you remember. Parallel means you're never going to touch. The second kind of lines that we have are perpendicular. That's kind of a hard word to say. Go ahead and say it with me. Perpendicular. One more time. Perpendicular. Good job. What you need to know about perpendicular lines is you want to think back to our talk about right angles. Perpendicular lines are going to meet at a right angle. So you're going to notice right here is a right angle. So when we have perpendicular lines, they're going to meet at a right angle, no matter where it is. So the right angle can be up at the top. It can be down at the bottom. It doesn't matter where, as long as it's making a right angle. And then the last lines you're going to talk about today are intersecting. And these are just any 2 lines that intersect. There's really nothing fancy about them. They can touch in any place, anywhere, as long as they're going to cross in some way. So guys, that's all we have for today. Just to kind of recap for you, we had 3 kinds of angles. We had right, or our loser. Acute was our peace out. And our obtuse was a hanging 10. Our lines, we had our parallel lines that are never ever going to touch. Our perpendicular, which are making a right angle. And intersecting, which those 2 can touch anywhere they want to. I'm going to challenge you guys before you come back to class to go out into your house, your environment, your neighborhood, a grocery store, and see if you can find examples of angles and lines. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And your joke for today is, why did the tree go to the dentist? See you soon.